Atlanta is no stranger to resistance. On a hot Saturday morning in the heart of Atlanta's historic Sweet Auburn District, a coalition of organizers, artists, doctors, advocates, and everyday Georgians gathered at 494 Edgewood Avenue. Brought together by the anniversary of the Dobbs decision, known as the ruling that ended federal protections for abortion and reproductive freedom, not to grieve quietly, but to speak boldly.
You're currently standing in the cradle of the civil rights movement for the city of Atlanta.
The event was organized to bring attention to the effects of the attacks on reproductive freedom in Georgia, highlight local voices leading the fight for reproductive rights, and honor the women who have died as a result of denied care. Georgia remains one of the most dangerous states in the country for maternal health. Speakers described the stakes and called for expanded Medicaid access and protection for providers. Councilmember Liliana Bakhtiari laid it out.
Women are more than a corpse to incubate a child. Women are more than just an incubator to birth kids. And never have I seen a community whose health and effectiveness was not directly correlated to the treatment of women and children.
Bodily autonomy is the first domino in the fall toward authoritarianism, and in Georgia, we're watching it happen in real time through bans, surveillance, and silence. But those bans have names and stories and daughters. What happens when politicians write healthcare policy? What happens when law overrides medical judgment? You get what Alicia Stallworth called the crisis of care. No clinics, no doctors, no choices.
It specifically targets clinics that provide abortion care. These are places Georgians depend on for essential screenings, birth control, cancer screenings, and STI treatment. We are already facing a crisis of care in the state. Over half of Georgia's counties do not have an OBGYN. We can't afford to have any other clinics closing in the state. These women died preventable deaths after they were denied or prevented from accessing emergency abortion care.
This is not about politics. This has always been about health care. These women were mothers. They leave behind children that are going to hear and see their names in the news, and they're not going to understand why this happened to their mothers. We should not be standing here on our Saturday mornings having to talk about the lives of women who have passed away because of our state laws. This is enough.
A new mural was unveiled at the event, created by Atlanta-based artist Jasmine Nicole Williams. The artwork honors lives lost and celebrates collective resistance. Her mural, Forward Together, isn't just a tribute to lives lost, it's a visual demand for the living to fight forward.
The blooming magnolias represent the beauty and the strength of the fight for justice and the fight that's ahead of us.
She spoke to us about the role of public art in social justice movements and how creativity can help people reconnect with their humanity.
I see public art like this as a broader strategy for reproductive justice and being like a calling card and being like a big billboard to like just bring attention to the issue. I'm a firm belieef that like a piece of art is not gonna change the world, but it will spark the idea to change the world. And it will inspire people to like get in touch with their humanity. Like people will see this mural and see these women and see themselves. They'll see their mothers, they'll see their cousins. I think that's like what public art is supposed to do. It's supposed to make us like feel connected. It's supposed to make us feel like we're tethered in this place together. So I see it as like a very necessary tool to inviting people into struggle and inviting people into these stories. For young artists who want to make work that has a social impact, I say the first step is to get connected with people. You gotta be in the streets to know how to make work for the people. You gotta know what people are going through. You gotta know who you are, but also know that it's the people that are gonna do half that work for you, right? And with you, honestly. All art is a conversation. So if you wanna be an artist that has social impact, you have to be willing to have a conversation with people and be willing to grow and evolve with the people so that your work speaks directly to them and moves them in the way that they should go.
Reproductive justice is often framed as a woman's issue, but speakers challenged that idea. Devontae Jennings, the youth organizing director for Men's Choice, called on more men to get involved.
This isn't just a woman's issue. This is an issue that is a family issue. I didn't know this was a fight that I was allowed to be a part of. I didn't know this was a fight that my voice should be a part of. And the more you get around, the more people are like, no, where have you been? Men, get off the sideline. Get involved. This fight needs us, good brothers. It needs us. You participate in it every day. So just because you think, it doesn't affect you, you're literally participating in whatever you buy something, whenever you go get gas, whenever you go get food, like you are participating in something. So it's like, why not get involved in something that you're actively participating in it, whether you know it or not?
The legal pressure isn't just on patients. Dr. Corinne Frew, an Atlanta-based reproductive endocrinologist, initially drew attention for speaking up at a hearing against HB 441, a resolution that sought to eliminate IVF and force her out of business in Georgia.
I cannot go to jail because I want to help people become parents.
Today, she described the impossible position doctors now find themselves in, risking jail time simply for doing their jobs.
Who decided that politicians and not doctors should make decisions on who lives and who dies?
Her message? This is no longer just a political issue. It's a healthcare emergency.
Certainly, the legal scholars or whatever out there never went to med school.
She calls herself an accidental activist, but there's nothing accidental about being brave.
The thing that keeps me going is seeing each person that I can help and helping them for as long as I can. I've been asked if I want to leave Georgia. That was the response. Things are so bad. Why don't you just get up and go? And I go, there are not that many people who look like me with my skill set. There are not that many people with my lived experience with my skill set. If I leave, am I not leaving someone behind? Who takes care of them? That's what helps me stay grounded. It's not about just me. It's about everybody else who looks like me and doesn't have a me to take care of them.
Dr. Corinne Frew could have left. She had every reason to. Instead, she stayed because she knew what it meant to be the only one in the room who looked like her, who could do what she does. For her, hope isn't hypothetical, it's human.
I think we've stayed in our lane for too long. This isn't happening just out there. We have allowed the law and politics to enter healthcare. We need to realize the moral injury that we are suffering. None of us went to med school to kill people. None of us. None of us went to med school to get the training in a field that excites us to then look at a patient because of some law and allow them to die. I know that they may not feel free to speak out because of the organizations that they work for and their lawyers, but you can speak out as an individual. If you don't feel free to at least stand up for yourself, to stand up for the fact that you are being put in an impossible position, to stand up against burnout, to stand up to stop hating your job, to stand up so you don't have to move. Fine. If you can't do it for your patient, do it for yourself.
As speakers wrapped up, one message rang clear. Healthcare is a defining issue for many Americans. At the time of the press conference, Medicaid cuts were looming and reproductive care was under attack, and as of right now, that bill has passed, stripping vital Medicaid funding and further endangering reproductive care across Georgia. But the story doesn't end here. In this moment, we have shifted as citizens from the warning phase to the rallying phase. Now is the time.
All of our issues ultimately are interconnected. So know that you have a voice and your voice matters.
Organizers at the press conference reminded us, this fight was never just about one law. It's about building power. We are urged not to wait for change, but to demand it. Speak out, vote, organize, protect each other, and refuse to look away.